Hey, how's it going? I want to talk about a very weird period of my life that I was struggling with, and I still kind of do struggle with, if I'm being honest. And that is loneliness. I'd been struggling with loneliness over the past couple years, and kind of more so the mental patterns that it put me in. One of the things that kind of caused this was I went from having a relatively large group of friends to a more tight-knit kind of personal group of friends. And while I think nowadays I definitely prefer something like that, at the time it really hurt me. It was a constant of having people to talk to over and over again. And it made things really weird when that was kind of taken away from me. I had so much more alone time than I was used to. And this is something that I think people usually experience naturally, like usually when they're leaving high school and they're going to college, or maybe they move out of town. Usually they have to make new friends, kind of leave the comfortable space that they were used to for so long. This kind of interaction with people became a constant that I was really dependent on, and I still almost am. I still kind of feel the effects of that. One thing I would do is I would kind of make assumptions. I would make up caricatures of people in my head, almost like a talking head, like a floating bobblehead of a made-up person of kind of someone that I used to remember, but that's not really them. They've grown and they've changed. They're out doing something, living their life. But, in my head, there's like a caricature, an amalgamation of memories that I'm kind of making assumptions about, how they think about me, what they're doing in life. And it's a little weird. I didn't even hold anything against these people. It's more so my own insecurities. I think being alone really brings out feelings I don't think you would have felt if you're constantly being distracted by the opinions of other people. I don't know if I've said this before, but for me, a big part of growing up has been being alone, kind of being stuck in your own head. And actually being able to confront those feelings was something that I had never had to deal with before. At the time I would start imagining what these people were up to, kind of comparing it to where I am, making up these fake lives that I've maybe thought they were living, and it just kind of made me feel like shit. I don't even hold anything against these people, which is the weirdest part to me. These are people that I craved the attention of, the friendship. I wanted it back. But at the same time, I was like super resentful, and it was weird. It made me feel like an asshole. And over time, I just kind of became more and more craving and grasping onto these imaginary straws of these relationships. I would try and reach out to people, and I would get few responses because I think we were all just in different places, a tight-knit group that kind of got severed from life. It was weird. It was odd. It made me feel really bad. And I eventually was able to reconnect with these people and reach out to them. And it was embarrassing almost to myself in my own head. I kind of felt like an idiot for judging these people and making so much assumptions when I didn't even know what they were going through. And it was the same for them. They hadn't seen what I was doing. I was almost dead to them, in the sense where, I'm not posting on social media every day where they can check up on me. I was just kind of out of their mind, out of their world. So it's natural that we did kind of sever that connection and fall apart. I had just lived for months and almost years of my life just imagining things based off of my own insecurities and putting these projections onto people. And it made the already pain of, I think, being alone for the first time even stronger, having these constant reminders in my own head of kind of, maybe I'm not where I want to be right now, projecting all these things onto myself. They really hurt, and it made me just kind of feel like shit. I was able to reconnect with some of the people that I hadn't talked to in years, literally. And it was almost like I was talking to a new person because it was. I don't know these people. Sure, I have memories and experiences from back then, but I don't know those people anymore. They've grown just like me, and they've changed, and they are out living their own life, and so am I. But I was stuck in my own head at kind of making things up, and I think just being selfish. And it was a kind of a gut-wrenching realization. I was sitting here grasping for these straws, hoping that I could rekindle what once was, but I kind of had to realize the people I knew are gone. Sure, X person, or whoever, is still out there. But the connection I had was to someone who isn't there anymore. Or maybe I even fantasized what once was so much that even never existed to begin with. And I was sitting here trying to grasp something that wasn't even real. At first, it was a really hard thing to come to terms with. That gut-wrenching feeling is so hard to confront. But kind of having that clarity and knowing that it's not even possible kind of forced me to move on and be like, man, that sucks, but at least I know now. And I think it has made it easier for me to focus on other things in my life than sitting inside all day and making up scenarios in my head. I think that so many times in my life I have really struggled with kind of letting my own insecurities be the actual bad guy than to whatever I think it is. I'd almost come to resent these people because of my own insecurities. I was mad at them, even though in a lot of cases they didn't do anything to me. And it made me feel like a piece of shit. But I think now, after I've kind of gotten clarity, I feel a lot better about it. And I'm glad I got clarity. You know, imagine if I never did. And I think there's a lot of people that don't. A lot of older people maybe just never got that clarity and still have these resentments and these insecurities that they have never had to confront. That's weird. I don't know. I got Twitter in the description if you want to follow me on that. Like, comment, whatever. Thank you guys so much recently for checking my stuff out and commenting. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, see you guys.